Hello, Facebook. Back with another one. Know y'all tired of seeing my face, but I gotta bring the truth and I gotta bring healing. So, I am here today to do Shadow Work 7. And Shadow Work 7 is knowing when your inner childhood wounds. Okay? So, we did the inner childhood, but now we're on knowing your inner childhood wounds. So let's start Facebook. I'm so happy to seeing you guys. 2 weeks I had some things going on. Some things going on in my household that I had to get, together. That's just a part of life. You go through rough times sometimes, but the Most High God and the universe had my back and made sure that my household was okay. So let's start. It's saying knowing when your inner childhood wounds. Most survival grow up too fast. So it's saying most survivals grow up too fast. The verbal childhood got lost in the need to protect and determine themselves. Reclaiming their inner child is part of the healing progress. It says often in inner childhood holds information and feelings for the adults. Some of these feelings are painful, others are actually fun. It said the childhood holds playfulness and increasing the adults has. So some of people childhood is a good thing, but some is painful and some they just don't want to deal with it, or they don't want to talk about it to other people, or they don't want to heal it. I have came on here. I just don't do tarot readings like I keep telling you guys. I also am a healer. I help others to go through transformation. I had to go through transformation, and part of transformation is healing your inner childhood. And healing your inner childhood is kind of rough, and it's a hard thing that you got to deal with, facing the wounds that happened to you when you was a child. Like a lot of things, abandonment issues. Like some people, you can be, some people went through abandonment issues, like their parents left them and things like that. Some didn't even see love from, their other adults that was around them. They didn't see love. Some, been through the good times when their parents is there for them. So it depends on the person. You get what I'm saying, Facebook? So let's finish up. Sense of the inner childhood increase joy and playfulness is a personality. It can become reformed into an adult that struggles to say no and becoming a people pleaser. So I've been through this one. In my childhood, I didn't know my worth. I had a lot of saying that I ain't gonna become something, and I'm not gonna become this, and I'm not this, and I'm not that. And I believed it. And then I kind of believed it. I believed it, and when I believed it, in my adulthood, I didn't know my worth. I was always trying to please other people to keep friendships and please other people to keep my family, or please other people to keep anyone to be around me, because I had abandonment issues for one, and then another one is I was a please seeker. And the reason why I tell you this is I didn't know how to say no. Like, I didn't know how to confront the conflict. You say no to other people, people will take it offensive. Some will take it, okay, that's cool. But then some will take it offensive when you say no to them. It's like they feel like they can bring you some type of conflict, or they feel like you shouldn't speak up for yourself, or you should know what is going on. Because when you speak up for yourself, they want to say it's drama, or you trying to bring problems to them. But you're not trying to bring problems to a person. You trying to speak up for yourself, because you have the right to speak up for yourself, Facebook, to anyone. And if they don't like it, that's on them. Okay? If they don't like what you say to them, that's on them. If they're trying to gaslight you or love bomb you or come in all different forms of fashions or trying to get something out you, and you see right through them, you have the right to speak up for yourself, to put up boundaries, because everyone should be putting up boundaries towards other people. You supposed to put up boundaries to your family. You supposed to put up boundaries to your friends. You supposed to put up boundaries to your lovers. I didn't learn that when I was a child, but I learned it when I was in adulthood. And when you put up boundaries towards another individual, you have the right to do that, because you're protecting yourself, your inner peace, and yourself. So let's get to the rest of it. It says here, which is a bad thing, since this is usually a receipt for people who are abusing other boundaries. So like I was telling you, other people will abuse your boundaries. They will choose to think that they can get over on you if you do not put up boundaries. You have the right to say no to another individual, and if they don't understand that, that's on them. Long as you said no, long as you protected yourself, that is what you need to do, Facebook. Not to make somebody feel good and comfortable, because when you do that, you're downing yourself. You're downing what you want to say. And when you downing yourself and what you want to say within yourself, you're covering up yourself for others. And covering up yourself for others, you don't want to do, because you're going to have to deal with that, not them. Okay? It says there are a few signs that points towards a wound, inner childhood wounds. And they are towards situations based on example of trauma. So some people went through trauma as a child. I know I was one of them. I've been through trauma as a child. And when you go through trauma as a child, it's some things that you do not know about. Just like, okay? It says you can ask yourself a few questions concerning of your negative experiences. So it's like experiences that you've been through as a child, answering them, giving you clarity on a situation. So answering what you've been through as a child gives you clarity. Now, I've been through a lot of stuff when I was a child, and I had to deal with that myself. And when you look at that type of stuff as a child, you can't control someone else. Like, let's show an example. When you a kid and your mother didn't show you love into a situation, you always got to have competition for your mother to show you love, or you always have to give her something for her to show you love. You shouldn't have to give your mother anything for her to show you love. She's supposed to be a nurturer. That's what mothers are. They're a nurturer. You shouldn't have to give to your mother or your father or anyone for them to show you love, especially if it's your family. They supposed to be there for you. But your family sometimes put you in competition. And competition is you gotta act like you better than the next, or you gotta act better than your cousin, or you gotta act better than your auntie. You shouldn't have to do any of that. You should have the right to have love from your family members. You shouldn't have to give them anything for them to love you. That's what they supposed to do. You could be there for your family. Like, let's say when your mother don't give you anything, but they give to their other kids, but they don't give you nothing. They make you struggle. They make you go through things. That is trauma. It's like you have to deal with, because your mother or your father not giving you anything, you can change that. And by changing that is you don't have to deal with that person. Yeah, that's your mother. Yeah, that's your father. But at the end of the day is, if they don't want to love you the right way, you don't have to go through abuse. Okay? It says here, did you feel like you were safe, loved, or as if you belong in your family? That's why I said, it's like some family members act like you don't belong in their family and you're their blood. They act like you gotta do competition, or you gotta get them something, or you gotta make them feel good about themselves. They should be making themselves feel good about themselves. And they should love you for who you are. Not because you giving them something, or not because you doing something for them. Okay? We have relationships play a big role. So we on relationships now. Now, let's try a prime example. When you get into relationships with other people, people bring their baggage. I don't care. Everybody got some type of baggage that they bring in a relationship. Okay? It says relationships plays a big role of how you create and also mentor. So some people, you can go ask them for some advice. They can give you the wrong advice for some. They give you the wrong advice because they can be envious. They can be jealous of what you have. They can be just want to give you wrong advice so you can go somewhere else. You got to make sure that person is the right mentor for you to get advice from. If that person is not the right person for you to be getting advice from, you should be going to that person. And how you find out about that person, how that person is living. Look how that person is living before you try to ask them for advice. If they're living a messed up situation and they living a messed up life, they can't give you no good advice because they living in a messed up situation. Look at their environment that they're in. If their environment that they're in is messed up, you should be going to that person to try to get any advice from them, because they're going to give you bad advice because they're low vibe. Okay? Go to a good person. Good person advice is you looking at this person environment, they working on themselves. They working on their job. They doing for themselves. They doing for others. That's when you need to get the good advice from good that people that's doing for others. Not when people that's not doing for others and they gossiping and acting like they better than the next, or around their environment is messed up. You shouldn't be getting no advice from them. It says here, the shadow in the inner child states has a trauma on it. We as people can be quietly offensive. So don't be shy and observing the ways you act around the people in your life. So like I told you, it has something to do with your environment and the people around you. You shouldn't be shy of speaking up. You shouldn't be shy of how you feel. You shouldn't be shy of who you are. Who you are is who you are. And if a person can't deal with who you are, they need to walk away from the situation and not to be around you. Okay? You have the right to speak up for yourself. And you have the right to say what you want to say. But as a child, you didn't have the right to say what you want to say because some parents don't like to hear the truth sometimes. Kids can give you advice too. I learned that myself. Not always kids. You got to teach a kid, yeah. But kids can also give you some good advice. You just got to listen to your child and you got to listen to other people, your kids. Kids can give you good advice. Just listen to what they're saying. Okay? So, kids don't know everything. No, they need an adult. But sometimes kids are smart as well. And when you don't let your kids speak up of how they feel to you, they're not going to speak up to how they feel to other people when they are adult. Because you don't like what they saying to you. That's the point I'm saying. Some parents need to understand their children. You can't sit around and want your child to just keep their feelings and their emotions in. Because when they are adult, they're not going to be able to do that. They're going to be a please seeker, or they're going to be not to know how to say no to a person because they're going to be scared to say no to someone because of when they was a child, they couldn't speak up for themselves. Okay? It says here, it could be a family member, it could be a friend, or even a co-worker, or even something, etc. as a boss. So let's go to the friends. Like I was telling you, I went to friends and I went to family, but it's also co-workers. You get a good job. Okay, you go to a new job. You excited. You this, you that. But you shouldn't change yourself for having a new job. You should go in there, get the information that they're giving to you, and do what they tell you to do. But you shouldn't have to change yourself because they don't like you. Some co-workers don't like you. And that's okay. They don't gotta like you. But you have the right to speak up for yourself just as well as you have the right to speak up to your boss. If your boss doing something wrong, you have the right to speak up with them. Sometimes bosses get in the attitude and co-workers get in the attitude because you don't go to them first. You go to everybody else. Like a co-worker, you supposed to go to them first. What you got a problem with them about, you need to go to them and tell them why you had a problem with them. Just as well as a boss, you supposed to go to them and tell them why you have a problem with your boss. Go to that person first. That's in any job or any co-workers. They're going to tell you, did you go to your boss? Did you go to your co-worker and talk about it first? If you did go to those two things and then talk about them first, then they're going to be like, you need to go to your boss and your co-worker. If you cannot get along with your co-worker and your boss, that's when they're going to have to intervene. You get what I'm saying? It says sometimes the people that target us most are the authority figures in our lives. So the authority figures in our lives will target us the most because they have the authority. But it's not just the authority. They need to heal themselves. Sometimes some of the authority people that have authority needs to heal themselves. And some of them has not healed. Some of them has not healed their inner childhood. Some of them has not healed what's going on in their household. Like sometimes something go on in your household, they bring it to work. And then sometimes at their job, they going through something and then they bring it at home. That's not how you do it. You supposed to leave your problems that you got at your job. And your problems, what you got in your problems at your home, in your home. Okay? It says, actually towards us could cause targeting and should be mindful in case we have been carrying trauma gaining from parents who are by all accident the first authority figure in our lives. Didn't I tell you? Parents. Parents sometimes have to listen to their child. They might not like what they hear, but they're going to have to listen, and they shouldn't put fear in their child because their child saying something to how they feel. You get what I'm saying? Because that's going to mess them up as a child, as an adult, because then they're not going to be able to speak up for themselves for other people. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Facebook. Nothing in our inner childhood is balanced. No else is the wound of childhood causing. It may create too much childlike behaviors. Highlighting a good balance. So it's like looking at the good in your childhood will help you as well. Not always bad in your childhood. Sometimes mother figures. I remember some nights I used to lay with my mom, and I got the love because she holding me and hugged me when I was a kid. That was a wonderful thing because I felt her energy. I felt her love. Sometimes when on your birthday, your mom buy you something or your dad buy you something, that's a wonderful thing. Or they buy you this favorite toy that you really, 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 really wanted. That's a wonderful thing too. How to heal and then they're there for you when you also has been like in an accident, like your body or something, you failed or something, and they like, get up, you can do it. I used to love that with my mom when I went through like pain problems on my fingers or something, and I got like a scar or something on me, and she was like, it's okay. And then she put a little bit of that anti ointment on there and then put a little sticker on her and say, you got it. I remember that when I was young with my mom and stuff too. So it says also to ask yourself about your inner childhood balances as well as controlling of your emotions. So I had to learn about my emotions. Like, let me get this one off for y'all. So yeah, I had to learn about my emotions, and positive feelings and emotions are love, joy, gratitude, peace, gratefulness, inspiredness. Sometimes pride is good a little bit, but also cautiousness. And these are the positive emotions that I wrote down. So now negative emotions is like this: fear, angry, disgrace, also jealousy, sadness, envious, regret, and loss. So those are, you have to understand to control your emotions sometimes with other people here. And it says here emotional chords is that feeling. Emotions are near and good or near bad. All are necessary, each and every emotion. We expect to have both a positive and also negative emotional element into innate and natural. So when you go through emotions and things like that, Facebook, you have to identify them, and a lot of people don't identify their emotions. They just go off out the end, or they don't want to feel their emotions, so they put them in the back or they ignore them. But when you don't feel your emotions, you can have outbursts towards other people. You can go off. You cannot know the facts of what somebody trying to tell you. Some people don't accept criticism. Criticism is not a bad thing for sometimes, because criticism can teach you. It'll teach you a lesson, and it also will teach you what you need to know. Now, if you listen to a person, when I was a kid, I used to go off on people because of what they were saying. I was so quick to go off. I didn't listen to what they were saying, and I didn't listen to the facts. And when you don't listen to the facts and you not listen to what somebody's saying to you, you can not know what they're going. You could be not knowing what's going on. You have to listen first, and when you listen, you take it in first. And when you take in what they're saying, you don't put your emotions real quick on it. You listen to what they're saying, and then you go inward by listening to what they're saying. And then when you listen to what they're saying, you're getting the facts. And then when you're getting the facts, then you can judge: is it a pro or a con? Is it bad or is it good, or what they're trying to tell you? Not using your emotions first, because when you using your emotions so quickly, you're not going to get the facts. And when you don't get the facts of what somebody's saying, you can be wrong. I've been through it. I done it when I was a child as well as an adult. And I had to learn to listen to other people and get the facts first before I try to judge another person, or before I try to say they said this, or before I try to see. I get the facts, I let it go in, and then I decide, do I want to take that advice or not. Okay. We have here how to heal your inner child. It says, where is the inner child is using to love so much? It is time. It says happiness and depending on the child that you still carries within. Simply knowing the inner child wounds in the first steps is healing progress. But how do you go about learning to heal your inner child? There are a few steps to follow in order to help you through the progress. After we have acknowledged the inner child and the shadow, the two personals is into a better new you. To accept your inner child is a key to remember that the inner child should be seen, heard, and loved. It says the inner child needs assertiveness as well as tips. Assertiveness including grounding yourself and also affirmations. So I had to learn to do affirmations for myself. Like, I love myself. Today you go do good, Jacob. Giving yourself affirmations about yourself. You shouldn't have to wait on affirmations from somebody else telling you you're doing good. You can give yourself affirmations. You can say, I'm doing good today. Oh, I can do better today. Or I'm happy today. Or this is a good day. Or I'm grateful today. Those things will help your affirmations, and it helps your energy to boost up. You don't have to have affirmations from other people to make you feel good. It says everything is okay. Like, you can say everything is okay to yourself. It says we are not in danger. You can say I am not in danger. You can say you are safe, or you are loved, loving you. You're going to be fine. What do you need from me? You have to tell yourself you are safe, you are good, I'm okay. Those are good affirmations for yourself. And then it says, you want to use the part as a way of two personalities to take all the painful wounds and experiences and use them. So the painful experiences, you can use them in a positive. That's why I teach others transformation, and I teach others to heal their inner childhood and their trauma. Because I've been through trauma and inner childhood trauma. I've been through those things, as well as an adult. I've been through trauma too. So I went through that, and when I went through that and I learned about it, now I teach others, because teaching others will help them to heal themselves as well as I healed myself. It says here, a good affirmation to repeat to yourself is, I am loved, I am honored, I am free, and it is done. So, undercovering. See that? See how he looks, the little child? So he's undercovering. We're undercovering this next. For next week. I mean, probably in a month. But yeah, Facebook, I'm glad y'all heard my inner child and things like that. I'm going to pull a card for you guys. Undercovering will be the next one for shadow work for inner child. So Spirit, tell me about the sign for my viewers for this for inner child. I'm gonna pull a card for you guys, and I'll be on my merry way. We have her divine timing. The divine brings things into the time that we need. Nothing comes before us, and ne'er leaves too early. May I always trust your perfectness and holy time, dear Lord. Divine timing. And then we also have her doubts. So Spirit don't want y'all to doubt. Okay? It says here, offers all to the doubts. Doesn't mean negative, nor arise, but you can say, free me from this poison of doubts, and I cast the burden to you. Show me your will and restore me to faith and confidence. Doubts, as well as loneliness. And loneliness is when you stop fearing your loneliness. You stop settling for less than you deserve. May I embrace and love my solutions. And that's when kind spirits can finally come. Loneliness. Then we have her forgiveness. Healing comes from accepting. Help me, dear Lord, to fulfill and accept what is, knowing that this alone will open me to a new. So forgiveness. So those are the ones Spirit wanted me to do for you guys. Y'all take care. I love y'all, Facebook. And thanks for coming on my channel. I know y'all tired of seeing my face. Gotta go. Bye bye, Facebook.